Okay, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Board of Selectmen meeting. And I ask everybody to please rise. Pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, it's 7 o'clock. We're going to open a classification hearing, open a public hearing. Ask the assessors to come up. Mr. Berube and Jay, our assessor and our chairman of the Board of Assessors.
Good evening.
So this is actually a opening of a public hearing to talk about classification. Mr.
Right.
Berube.
This is our annual trip before you, last step in us setting our tax rate for the year. It includes you making 4 decisions, taking 4 separate votes, as it has been the case in the past, on an open space discount, residential exemption, a small commercial exemption, and the overall classification. You've all been given packets. I don't know if you've had a chance to review them or not.
Yeah, the ones that say new. Yep. The ones we just got as a replacement for what was in the packet.
Oh, okay.
As you probably remember, you take
It's in the packet.
take individual action on each and every one of these.
Right. Which the recommendation is.
Well, the first is the open space discount. We don't have any open space, so it's basically a moot point.
Okay. Okay. Any questions from the Board of Selectmen to the assessors? You know, we're.
Yeah, I do. If you would, just for the public's understanding, just summarize what each of these votes are for.
Okay, open space is land that would be maintained in an open or natural condition, as it says here, and would be something that was set aside that contributes significantly to the benefit and enjoyment of the public. And it's not subject to permanent conservation restriction or held for the production of income and or taxable under the provisions of a particular chapter, be it 61, 61A, 61B. It's basically if somebody had some land that they wanted to set aside and let the public use it, and when they weren't using it for any other purpose, then it would be eligible for a discount. We don't have any land of such in town, so it's, as I say, it's somewhat of a moot point.
Okay.
Well, we want to take these one at a time and then get a little explanation? Okay, so the motions are there in the packet. Who would like to go?
Chair, I move we set an open space assessment. And
Okay, so we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. All those in favor? All those opposed? Opposed?
aye.
Okay. The noes have it.
Oh, hold on a second.
The noes have it.
I got you.
Got it?
It's all right.
There you go. We're
I
going
got a little
quick.
confused. I'm okay.
Going
now.
real fast tonight. Okay, so residential exemption, Mr. Berube, give us a brief explanation for the public on that.
The board may adopt a residential exemption of up to 20% to shift the residential tax class burden. Excuse me, the adoption would decrease the residential property by $71,000 in value. However, this exemption will increase the tax rate by $2.96 per thousand for all residential property.
Okay.
What this is designed to do is, in a community that has a lot of rentals, I'm sorry, or you have a community like, down the Cape where you have a lot of summer property, non-owner occupied, non-primary residents. This allows you to shift a lot of the tax burden to those properties and give some relief to the people who actually own it and occupy their own properties. We really don't have a significant amount of this in town. We are 98% owner occupied in Georgetown.
No more cottages on Pentucket Pond.
No, well, there are a lot of cottages on Pentucket Pond, but
they're
most of them are
year-round
year-round, owner-occupied
ownership,
houses
right.
at this point, so.
All right, Mr. Chair, I move to establish a residential exemption.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying yes. All those opposed signify by saying nay.
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 Hey.
How's that? Didn't confuse you?
Caught up on that one.
Okay, here we go. All right, next one, small commercial exemption, Mr. Berube.
Third is the small commercial exemption, which is very similar to what we just talked about in residential property. Basically, it allows us to shift the tax burden from smaller businesses in town to, if we had large corporations that owned large expensive pieces of property, the cutoff point is $1 million in value. And in some communities that it does make sense. In Georgetown, we have 162 total commercial properties, 148 of which would be valued under $1 million, and only 14 that would be over $1 million. And so we would take a fairly significant portion of that value and shift it to a very small number of properties in town here. And we really don't have any large corporations that are in town. UFP might be about the only one that I could think of that was a, large corporate. So the recommendation would be there that we set we do not set a commercial exemption here.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I move to accept the small commercial exemption.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying yes. All those opposed, nay.
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 Aye.
Gary, did I hear you say nay?
You almost always hear me say
That's why I wanted to reinforce why I didn't hear you say anything. I was looking for an abstention there. We all set? Is that 5-0?
That was 5-0.
Okay, sorry.
Popo.
I'm not being a wise guy. I'm just trying to hear. Didn't hear you there, Gary. So, okay.
Freudian slip.
All right, so
He's in disbelief.
those three. All right, so we have two other recommendations. Well, we have two other votes to take that we would recommend that we do, right? Tax classification factor of 1, and also we'll just close the public hearing then. So do you recommend that we vote yes to a recommended tax classification factor of 1?
Yes.
Okay. So I'd entertain a motion to recommend a tax classification factor of 1.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye.
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 Okay, the ayes have it 5-0. Any other, any other discussion or information requested of our assessors? Hearing none, I would move to close the public tax classification hearing.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
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 Okay,
On
thank you, gentlemen.
on an administrative note, if you could sign off on those, did you give them the forms to sign off there?
I have it.
If we could just get your signatures this evening, we can actually file the tax recap tomorrow.
Okay.
So that would be helpful.
Just the one form.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So if you could just do those before you leave tonight, that'd be helpful.
Terrific.
Sure, we'll get them
Thank
out
you.
to you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Have a good night, guys.
Good to see you.
Okay. All right, next order of business would be to have the police chief and Lieutenant Cudmore come forward. I know they were here for two different things, right? You guys, we have some surplus property too. We'll talk about that. I always hit you a curveball with the surplus property.
We did not know about that.
It was on the agenda for tonight, but we'll go over it. It's one item, so it's fairly easy.
Come up with that. Why don't we do that first?
Yeah. So you want to take care of the surplus property first? All right, so we have a request for surplus property was the old truck for animal control?
Yes.
Okay. And I mentioned, there was some information in that says there's an individual that's interested in it. Is he interested in it? Mike Anderson interested for the schools or is it personally?
No, it would have to be for the schools. It
It's
would
for the
not be
schools, right?
personal.
Yeah, okay. It didn't spell that out. It just said Mike Anderson. Okay. All right. So it's a 1998 Ford Ranger with a lot of miles on it in poor condition, right?
That's correct.
We're gonna give it to the schools.
It was donated to us from the light department, and he's made a request to us. He wants it, understanding, well, it's shortcomings.
Okay. All right. Okay. So
Our demands are that it be painted, it's not gonna be on the street in black and white. You're not gonna see the high schools.
No, it will be decommissioned, so it looks like a
Yeah.
Ford Ranger pickup again.
Okay. All right, any questions on this particular item? All right, hearing none.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I think it's a bad idea. It's a piece of junk, and it's just gonna be a expenditure for the town. These things should be put out of their misery and sold for scrap or traded in when we have another vehicle.
Well, if we declare it surplus, right?
Then that doesn't necessarily mean it's going directly.
Actually, yeah, you wouldn't want to, I don't think the proper way is to declare it surplus, because declaring it surplus makes it
Go away.
no
We have to
longer
dispose of it.
town property. And it has to be disposed of either by sealed bid or auction, or in this case, just scrap it. By really, if you want the school to use it, then
You have to accept it.
they just,
Yeah, we just don't
Take it.
act on this, we just withdraw this
And they accept it.
declaration.
Right.
Right, I was working with Mike's office, and we were gonna discuss that, because the issue had come up whether we're gonna actually dispose of it, surplus it, we're just following the policy, to have that form signed, and then Mike did recommend to me, he said that, if we do surplus the vehicle, then that means we have to dispose of it.
Right.
So,
Well, that was my question, whether it
Right.
was a personal individual that was looking for it.
No, we
or
wouldn't
was it
be
the
able to
school
do that.
department? Right.
yeah, you'd have to auction it.
But
or-
that was my point, that's where I was
all-
leading to.
anything we own is auction.
eBay it, yeah. Okay, well, let's table it for now,
Okay.
and then we'll bring this back up. All right, police chief.
Okay,
Chief.
before tonight we're here to introduce you to some new officers and ask you to appoint them. But before we do that, I'd just like to step back and talk about last week and recognize all, the Board of Selectmen for being there, the town administrator for being there, all the department heads for coming together in an emergency situation, Hurricane Sandy. We're very lucky. We really dodged a bullet here. But everybody was geared up, everybody was ready, and I can tell you, there was a power outage, as you know, and if it wasn't for that coordination effort that was taking place that night, we would not have had the town back up and running the way we did. And I'm very, very proud of everybody involved in the situation, and I want to make, as the emergency management director, I want to say thank you to all of them. It was a long, long day. It was like waiting for a bomb to go off. So just an attaboy to all those folks, okay? And tonight, we're here to prove the point that when they say you're getting old, when you know police officers look young. And tonight, you'll see that. We're going to introduce you to four officers we're recommending for the position of reserve police officer, asking you to make the appointments. I'm gonna call each officer up. They're gonna sit next to me, and I'll give you a little bio on each person. And I'd ask before you appoint them, that we do that as a group, so that we can, acknowledge them, and then we can get out of your hair, okay? So I'd ask Heather Lefebvre to come up. All right, Heather is a graduate of the Haverhill High School, pursued a degree and graduated from the Riviera College in Nashville with a double major in criminal justice and psychology. While attending college, she was afforded the opportunity to intern with the Merrimack, Mass Police Department, and subsequently went to work there as a part-time dispatcher. During her time as a dispatcher, she has attained many different skill sets and completed numerous certificate programs such as EMD, LEAPS, and CPR and AED. During her tenure with the Merrimack Police Department, she attended the Northeast Regional Police Institute held at Camp Curtis Gill in Reading, and she received a certificate for the course. She is a certified part-time police officer in Massachusetts. And I will tell you, and this is true of each officer, every candidate we're going to present to you tonight, physical fitness exam, an extensive background test. And I can guarantee you, and a lot of credit goes to Lieutenant Cudmore, Detective Jim Rodden, Sergeant Scott Hatch, Officer Derek Jones, and Detective Supervisor Tom DeJoy. That's a recruitment team, and they work very, very hard to bring only the finest people before you, finest people to put a gun and badge and patrol and work with our community. So Heather's among that group, so. This is Heather LaFave, and we are recommending her for the position of reserve police officer this evening. Okay?
Great. Welcome.
Welcome.
Wait, no, incidentally, just say,
Yes, sir.
we're starting to get old. Phil thought they were from the high school. I did, he thought they were a government high school class. Just to
So
come
did
over-
I, in all honesty.
Yes.
Thank you very
Well, we got
much.
some students here tonight.
Yeah.
We're all getting old.
Sammy, you take a seat, I'll call up Jonathan.
Can I see some ID?
Yeah, really.
He's not kidding.
Okay, this is Jonathan, and I'm gonna say this, Henriquez. I would have been at radio, but, you know.
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
Don't quit your day job.
Jonathan is 22 years old, one of 3 siblings. Something unique about Jonathan that is he's an identical twin, which we like here in Georgia.
Yeah.
Let me show you that. Okay. He has a twin brother. Jonathan was born and raised in Lawrence, Mass. From the age of 14 to 21, he was a police explorer with the Methuen Police Department. At 20 years of age, he was an auxiliary police officer for the Lawrence Police Department. Jonathan attended Lawrence High School and graduated in 2008. He then attended Hesser College in Salem, New Hampshire. Jonathan currently holds an associate's degree in criminal justice and is pursuing a bachelor's degree. Jonathan currently works for the Merrimack College Police Department part-time, where he is a police officer for them, and for the Andover Police Department, where he's a full-time dispatcher. Okay, so Jonathan, and again, same qualifications, same tough road to get here, all right? So we're gonna let Matthew have a seat now.
Welcome.
All right, well, Jonathan.
Matthew? We couldn't hire Smith and Jones, right? Matthew, give me a moment, I'll try this.
Carapalucci.
Cara Palucci, thank
Come on,
you.
Chief.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Yeah. You'll always be Matthew to me.
There you go.
Matthew is a current resident of Tewksbury, Massachusetts, and has been a lifelong journey to become a police officer. Matthew graduated from Tewksbury Memorial High School in 2004. Following his high school graduation, Matthew pursued his dream and studied criminal justice at the University of Massachusetts at Lowell. Matthew graduated with a bachelor's degree in 2009 with a minor in sociology. Matthew started his law enforcement career in 2007 with the Tewksbury Police Department as a part-time 911 dispatcher. 1 year later, Matthew was promoted to a full-time dispatcher, and he currently works the 4 p.m. to 12 a.m. shift. Matthew was sponsored by the Tewksbury Police Department to attend the part-time police academy in Reading, Mass., where he graduated in 2008. In 2008 and 2009, Matthew was attending college full-time, working dispatch full-time, and attending NERPE, which is our part-time academy, 2 days a week. Matthew accepted the responsibilities of a busy schedule, but he was determined and dedicated to achieve his life's long goal. Following his NERPE graduation in 2008, Matthew was sworn in at the Tewksbury Police Department as a reserve police officer. In April 2011, Matthew was also sworn with the Merrimack College Police Department as an on-call patrolman. Matthew was eager to start his employment at the Georgetown Police Department. He's looking forward to bringing his experience he has gained from his current employment with him. So we're lucky to have him, and again, same standards.
All right, all right.
Thank you. Nice to
And,
meet you.
Daniel,
to meet
don't
you.
go anywhere. No, I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Now, this is Daniel Layden. It's my kind of guy. Daniel Layden is from the North Reading, Mass. He is a proud graduate of North Reading High School as well as Suffolk University, where he graduated in 2009 with a BS degree in criminology. Daniel has completed the Reserve Police Academy in Reading in 2010. Prior to applying for the Georgetown Police Department, Daniel was a police officer at the Regis College in Weston and Framingham State University. He also currently works as a reserve police officer with the town of Hamilton, Mass. Daniel's hobbies include sports, traveling, and being with friends and family. And again, we're very, very lucky, this crew. I can't tell you how many applicants we get for the position of police officer, so my request tonight is that you appoint each one of these individuals as a reserve police officer, and we can start their career in what I think is the finest law enforcement agency in the North Shore of Massachusetts.
Great. Term to expire when?
It's 1 year. It
1
will,
year?
well, it'll be,
June
June
30th?
30th.
June 30th, yeah.
6/30 of 13. Okay, great. Anybody have any questions of the chief or the candidates?
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Just now, if I remember right, you start them as dispatches, is that how you do it here?
Because of a large depletion in personnel, and because we were really hurting for manpower, we had to change that process. We did in the past, but we're not doing that right now. We just needed the manpower, and we needed to accelerate it, so this is what we've done.
Okay.
Through my course of this, you've probably heard a lot of experience here. Some are dispatchers, but
Yes,
if they didn't
yeah.
have it, it wasn't paramount. So some of these will be going, and Mr. French, who met the last time, he's out in the street tonight in uniform on patrol. So we're trying to fill our ranks.
Also, too, there was an EMD mandate effective July 1st of this year,
Yeah.
where there's another 40 hours of training to just have civilian dispatchers perform EMD. So we did have to delineate from that plan and separate the two positions due to that.
We have hired 3 reserve dispatchers as well.
Quick question. You mentioned that some of the candidates have done a part-time academy. If and when someday we push somebody to the full-time academy, because they've already had this training, is it less of an expense or less time that they have to put in, or you
No.
have to go through it all over
No,
again?
no.
From soup to nuts?
It's soup to nuts here, you know?
Okay,
And that's pretty much true in every state.
okay. Just a quick question. Trying to save some money there down the road.
Yeah.
All right, well, if there are no more questions, we'll go ahead and entertain the motions, and Phil has the paperwork, so.
Yeah, well, first, I want to welcome all you guys to Georgetown. You guys carry a great burden to keep our community safe. You've got only a few months left to learn from the best, and his protege, the second best, will help you from there. But we're going to entrust with you our community, our families, and our children. So please take the utmost care, and we appreciate you guys stepping up to the plate to help us in the community as well. So, without any further ado, Heather, how do you pronounce your last name? Lefebvre.
Yeah.
He didn't do that right. So. Mr. Chair, if you don't mind, I'd like to move that we appoint Heather Lefebvre as a reserve officer with a term expiring 6/30/2013.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye.
Hi.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I move that we appoint Mr. Daniel Layden as a reserve police officer with a term to expire 6/30/2013.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye.
Hi.
I move that we appoint Jonathan Henriquez as a reserve officer with a term to expire 6/30/2013.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye.
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 And finally, Mr. Chair, I move that we appoint Matthew Carapalucci, did I get it right? As a
Ultra
reserve
party,
officer, yeah, I can get it, as a reserve officer with a term to expire 6/30/2013.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye.
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 Well, Phil kind of stole a little bit of my thunder, but congratulations, and you do have a huge responsibility now to work with and protect the citizens here in Georgetown, and also work with peers, superiors, colleagues. So we do take that responsibility very seriously. And on the other end, you have our full support and resources of the Board of Selectmen and of the town. And certainly the administration of the police department understands that. So we firmly stand behind you. Represent us well, be safe, and good luck. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Good
guys.
night. Thank you, guys.
Okay, let's back up a little bit. Do we have any minutes? Warrants to be signed. We have minutes from October 15th, 2012, and the emergency meeting minutes, October 28th. Those look okay with everybody? If so, I would entertain a motion to accept them as presented.
So moved.
We do them one at a time? Can I do both?
Either.
Okay, I just took a motion on both of them. So we have a motion, do we have a second? All those in favor? Aye.
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 Okay,
Aye.
okay.
Noted I was absent though at the emergency one.
Yeah, Gary was in Maine, and we did try to contact him. All right, so we got some correspondence for recognition of a Georgetown resident receiving his Eagle Scout, and I have all the information right here, so bear with me. I hope I'm saying this right, Eric Locke, Loehle. Is that how you pronounce that? Well, Eric, congratulations, and we have a citation, and we would also ask that one of the esteemed members of the Board of Selectmen attend. It's on November 24th over in Boxford. Anybody available?
I might be available. If
Well, we can work that out between us, but we'll certainly try to get somebody there, and
Thanksgiving
congratulations. You know, a lot of work and big commitment, and congratulations again. We have some correspondence. We received Whittier Regional Vocational Technical High School Annual Operating Report, so if there's any questions on that, let's bring them back. Resignation of Charles Waters from the Affordable Housing Trust. I had the privilege and honor to serve with Chaz on that trust. I still am. And Chaz, unfortunately, moved to Newburyport. We wish him the best, and very big shoes to fill there, as Chaz did a tremendous amount of work in a very short period of time, in about 2 years. We really brought the trust forward and instituted a housing production plan, completed that, and secured funding from CPC. You know, Chaz has a lot to do with the success of the Affordable Housing Trust, so we really do thank him for that. Veterans Day observances, we got a notice from the veterans, Harry Murch Park, November 11th at 11 a.m. Hopefully we'll see a lot of people there to honor our veterans. We did also receive a correspondence from Comcast Municipal Energy reporting procedures, again, probably in response to and follow-up from Hurricane Sandy. Old business, do we have anything to talk about, this special town meeting? As far as that, it's on the agenda for an update. Do we need any type of update?
Everything passed.
Yeah,
Everything is a go.
everything on the warrant passed.
Okay.
Tomorrow's an important follow-up with the question number 4 on the ballot.
Right. Okay, Selectmen's report. Mike, do you have anything to bring up? Do you want to go over the ESCO after? A little bit of an update, you want to do that
Well-
now so we can have some discussion on public meeting notification laws?
Yeah, the ESCO update is very quick. We had our boiler swapped out here in this building, and we're fine-tuning. We didn't get the controls put in yet, so we're utilizing the old thermostats, but ABM/Link has been very helpful. They came in today and readjusted everything as best they could. We'll be getting the computerized digital controls shortly. They've completed the wiring for that already, so that'll be the next step. And then they have to finish the lighting here in the public safety bill. Well, everywhere except the schools. So we're looking forward to that. They should definitely be finished on time, before time, actually. They have until January 15th to complete the project.
And it looks like, again, you said they're gonna be right on time, no issues.
Right, and, one slight, I wouldn't say it was a modification, but our expectation was that the cooling tower for the building was gonna go outside the back by near where the other units are right now. However, the cooling tower is quite large. It's over 8 feet tall, 10 feet long, and 5 feet wide. We'd lose a handicap parking space there. Plus, it would block the offices for the windows in the Board of Health. So what we've done, what we're going to do is place the unit over by the ballards on the backside of the parking lot. And they will do a saw cut and pipe underneath the parking area, the driveway area, at no additional expense to us. The other issue with putting the cooling tower, I don't think the Mass Historical Society would have appreciated it. They had heartburn when we put the bulletin board out there. So just to avoid any problems with them, ABM was they wanted to get things done on time and on schedule. So they were the ones that suggested that we put it out there.
I'd like to see exactly where that's gonna be, so before we leave tonight, if we can just take a quick look.
Sure.
Right, if anybody else wants to take a quick look at that, we should. All right, the only other thing we have on the agenda tonight, and it popped up, was, you know, we had to go to, in the middle of a hurricane, go to the middle high school and, I guess, just move the meeting, the special town meeting. We did send out an email, Mike, appreciate you doing this, send out an email to us and copied that to Senator Tarr, and we're interested in talking about a solution for that. I'm not so sure that, you know, before we go ahead and try to get legislation changed, we should make sure and do our research that that's not already existing, and we just missed it. But according to legal counsel, that was the way we had to do it. We had to actually show up, you know, have 3 people show up and take a vote. And, you know, at this day and age, like Mike pointed out in his email, is that, you know, we've got texting, we've got emails, we've got all kinds of electronic media now, where we shouldn't have to, you know, put people's lives in danger or resources to the test just to go to to the site and actually postpone the meeting. Again, not in this day and age. It's 2012. So Senator Tarr is willing to work with us on this issue to shed light at the legislative level, so that maybe we can force some change, some type of change where maybe, you know, a reverse 911 call or a code red call is sufficient to postpone a meeting, you know, after some type of vote of the Board of Selectmen, or mandate or some type of declaration from the town moderator. So, you know, any feelings on this? I think this is a good idea for us to kind of take the lead to you know, and work with Senator Tarr, and also with you know, our legislative, not just Bruce Tarr, but whoever comes in as our new state rep, which we'll know tomorrow night, either Mr. Mira or Mr. Fogel. So we could reach out to either of them to see if they'd be interested in sitting down and having some discussion about this, and then kind of being a leader for the entire Commonwealth on this issue. Anybody?
I would say that, you know, given that I don't plan on being chair again, I actually like the fact that you had to go out and not me. So I don't want to change a thing.
Thanks.
No, I'll support you on this. I think that other communities, you know, as you said in the email, Mike, there were several other communities that had the same issues and probably had to do the same things. And during an emergency like this, where, you know, the decision to go out was still a dangerous decision, but trying to respect all the colonial statutes that were put in place back in the 1700s or so.
Right.
So, yeah, whatever we can do to support you, Dave.
Okay. Mike, maybe we reach out to MMA
Already have.
and see if there are any other communities that want to jump on board with this, because I think there's strength in numbers. You know, maybe ask them that question if they've got any complaints from anybody else, or the suggestion.
Well, the same day, I sent a duplicate copy of this to MMA along with the photograph.
Yeah.
That'll probably be appearing in the next bulletin. But I sent the email to the head of their legislative liaison.
Mm-hmm.
I did get a follow-up phone call from their office asking for a little more detail, and there was a brief. It hasn't made the bulletin yet, but if you click online, there's a story online already on the MMA homepage. So they're aware of it, and they would definitely want to partner with them and Senator Tarr in getting some type of legislation.
Okay. Well, yep, we're gonna,
I would just say, don't underestimate how complicated this
oh, no.
simple change will be.
Right.
There's,
We'll leave
people
that.
like that Elm Street posting, I mean, the Elm Tree posting, sorry, the posting on the Elm Tree that Mike referenced here. But I think it makes sense, putting people in harm's way over procedural, I think is not a great thing to do, and it makes sense to discuss it. But I just, we have a lot of things to do here, and we should just be careful that we don't get sucked into a very long and drawn-out battle of minutia. But
well, I'll go ahead and reach out between me and Mike. We can go ahead and try to coordinate some type of meeting with Senator Tarr and a legislative representative from MMA. And even if it's a small circle, doesn't have to be the full board, to just talk about this, and we can go ahead and get this accomplished, so.
call it the Farrell procedure or something, is that the Farrell Act?
No. Georgetown Act.
Georgetown Act of
There you go.
2013. But, I mean, there definitely needs to be some change on that issue, no doubt about it, so. All right, anything else, any new business, other new business to bring forward to the Board of Selectmen tonight? Yes, Mr. Fowler?
If I may, since you mentioned back on the old business about tomorrow's vote, and I felt that, at that Saturday meeting, that Chuck Dixon brought up a very good point about the square footage cost.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't back these figures up, but a friend of mine did go online and followed up on that, and he checked some of the other recently completed schools, and they were coming in at an average of $326 a square foot. And ours was at $472. Now, you two guys are at a lot, Phil also early on. I mean, we had a very poor answer when Chuck asked that question about the cost per square footage. I mean,
It's the site work, too. You have to factor in the site work.
factor in the site.
What you
That's what I
should do is
wondered, if it
back
was
up,
because
right.
of the,
It is.
There's a ton of site
There's a
work
site-
on this project.
Right, there's a ton of site work. The additional field would be, if you just took the number divided by the square footage of the building, you need to look at side-by-side comparison in terms of site cost versus building cost.
yeah.
And you'll see that number should be more in line, so.
The actual construction cost is $295 a square foot.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the site work.
And that is the part that's, some of it that's not reimbursable?
Right.
If I'm
We're not getting
correct,
reimbursed
okay.
totally on the site cost.
Yeah.
Or some of that is out of pocket. Yep, absolutely. Again, we had challenges
then
there. We
how
already
does
own the
this-
land.
So it's not correct, I guess, the way that Chuck did the math, to work the site work in with the cost of the building?
Right.
That's
You need to
that's
separate it
part
and
of it.
compare apples to
Okay.
apples and oranges to oranges.
Okay. And you-
So there's a
What
big
was the
number.
figure you had, Mike?
295.
Okay, well, that does bring it in, because I mean, that's a much better answer than we got that day, I mean, so thank you.
Okay. All right, tomorrow, as a reminder, Election Day.
It is?
Yeah? What time, 7 AM to polls open?
7 to 8.
7 AM to 8 PM, so
Pembroke School.
Pembroke School, hope to see everybody there. And entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Good night, everybody.
Good night.